Hello friends, once again welcome back in our video series of C programming by TechBooster. So friends, here in this video we'll learn about structure in C programming. That is, what do we mean by structure and its importance in C language. So guys, in a previous video we have learned what is an array. So an array can store multiple elements but of similar data type. Like if you have different data from different data type, in that case you will have to create different arrays. But consider the case if there would have been a solution where, considering a single data type, you can store data from different data type. What would have been the scenario? That particular thing can be achieved considering a structure. So here you can see structure is a group of different data types represented by a single name and is known as user defined data type. So here, by using structure, you can create your own data type. Like we have defined data types like int, float, character. In the similar way, you can create your own data type using a structure, and that particular data type can store data of different data types. That is the advantage of using a structure. Now many of you might have a question like, we can do the same thing considering an array, then why again to learn structure? So if you want to get your output in an organized way, or if you want to write your program in an organized way, in that case structure is the solution. For example, if I consider a student, considering a student, there may be different cases. Like you can have name of student, which is a character. You can have roll number of student, which is an integer. You can have percentage of student, which is a floating value. So in that case, considering a structure, you can store all these different data types within a single group. That is the advantage of using your structure. So in order to use structure, first of all, we need to understand the syntax. So here, this is our syntax, you can see. So first of all, we need to start using our struct keyword. So here, this is our struct keyword, which is used to create a structure. And then you can name your structure. And here, this particular name will be the name of your data type. So the example that I have given you just now, that is the example of a student. In this case, you can consider student here as your data type. So now, after you naming your structure, you need to use this curly bracket. This is my curly bracket, and within this curly bracket, you can consider any data type along with a variable. Like you can consider int roll number, you can consider float percentage, you can consider a string like character name. In that way, you can define your structure, or in that way, you can create your own data type. Now, once you're done with this one, you can use this one in your main function. So how to use this one, I'll show you just by opening your code block. But before that, let me consider an example. You can see, create a structure considering the different following details of a student: roll number, name, mark of 3 subject, and percentage. So we'll consider this one as our example, and we'll try to create our structure. So let me open my code block. So first of all, we'll start with our header file. So that is your hash include stdio.h. Okay. So once we are done, now we need to create our structure. So we'll be starting with our struct keyword, and then I need to name my data type. So let me name it as student. And then you need to use a curly bracket. Okay, so here, you can consider any data type. Let me consider int roll number. Let me consider float percentage, and let me consider name. So you have to consider name. This will be my string. So I will be considering char as my data type, and then name, which is an array, and here I need to consider my number of characters. So let it be 20. Okay, so I'm done. Here in this case, I have not considered mark of 3 defined subject. I'll consider that one in my next scenario. But first of all, let me show you how to create a structure. So once you are done, here we'll start with our main function. And now within your main function, first of all, we'll have to create or consider a variable. Like here in this case, while considering this int data type, we have considered a variable. Like considering float data type, we have considered a variable percentage. Similarly, here in this case, considering our student data type, we need to consider a variable. So how to consider that one? Again, we'll have to start with our struct keyword, then student, and then you need to consider a variable. So let me name it as S1. So I am done. Now how to use all this data like roll number, percentage, name. So to use this data, first of all, we'll start with our variable S1, and then we need to use dot. This dot is nothing but called as member operator, which is used to call all this data that is within a particular group or the members of a particular group. So first of all, if you want to get roll number, you can directly use this roll number. You can see once I have used this dot, my compiler is suggesting me all the members I have within this student group. So from here, I'll be considering roll number, and then first of all, I'll show you how to consider manual input. So you have to consider manual input directly. You can use equal, and then you can have an integer. So let my roll number be 101. Now again, I will use the similar method S1 dot. Now I will use percentage equal. Let my percentage be your 78.5. Now let me consider name of my student. So here in this case, if I write S1 dot name equals to, for example, Rahul. Now here in this case, if I want to print all this data, I'll have an error here because this particular thing is not allowed. I'll show you why this is not allowed, because the same thing we have learned in our string chapter. Even then I'll be showing you this one here as well. Now I can use printf function here to print roll number of student. Roll number of student is percentage D, and then comma S1 dot roll number. Okay, so now let me just copy this particular line. Let me just replace roll number with percentage. And let me replace this roll number with name. And let me consider /n here. Okay. So now here, once you run this particular program, so once you run, you can see we have an error here in line number 13. So what is our error? Assignment to expression with array. So you cannot use this assignment here. It is equal. This is not allowed. So now how to consider manual name considering any of a string? So here in this case, we'll use our function strcpy, that is your string copy. We'll be using that particular function, and you have to use that particular function. Here we need to consider our string header file. So I'll just include .h. Okay. So now here in this case, what I'll do, I'll use strcpy and s1.name comma Rahul. So here basically what I'm doing, I'm copying this particular string and I'm placing it here in s1.name. Now once you run this one, we'll have our output. So once you run this one, you can see roll number of student is 101, percentage of student is 101. Okay, here. So now let me change this one. So this is my s1 dot roll number. So this one should be your s1 dot percentage, and here my format space here will be percentage f, because this is my floating value. And here again, this one will be your s1 dot name, and this one will be your percentage s, because this is my string. So once we are done, if I run this one now, here in this case, I will have my output. So you can see roll number of student is 101, percentage of student is 78.50000, and name of student is Rahul. So here in this case, if you want to have only 2 digits after this decimal, what you can do, you can use 0.2 here, 0.2f. Now once you run, your percentage will be exactly 78.50. You can see my percentage of student is 78.50. So guys, this is the way how you can create any of your structure or how you can create your own data type. Now let me show you, if you want to consider any of your user input, in that case what will be your case. So let me just replace all these things here, and here in this case, first of all, let me print my message, printf, like enter the name of student. So this will be my message first, and here in this case, while considering any one of your user input as a character, what we can use, we can simply use our gets function, because while you will be using your scanf function, in that case we cannot use space in between our string, or else the part after your space will not be considered. We have seen this one in our string chapter. So in order to resolve that particular issue, we'll be using our gets function here, gets, and then here this one will be your s1 dot name. So I'm done. Now I'll use my second math information, like enter the roll number. So again, here in this case, what I'll write, scanf percentage d, your address operator, with s1 dot roll number. Again, what we want is our percentage, printf enter the percentage. Okay, so again we'll be using scanf. Now we'll be using percentage f and then comma and s1 dot percentage. Okay, so we are done. Now once you run this particular program, we'll allow our user to enter name of student first. So first we need to enter name of our student. Let it be your Manoj Datta. Then roll number of student, let it be your 101, and percentage, let it be your 88.6. And now once you press enter, you can see these are my output. Roll number of student is 101, percentage of student is 88.60, and name of student is Manoj Datta. So guys, this is the way how you can create your own data type considering user input. Now here, if you want to check out the size of your variable s1, which is of data type student, in that case, let me just once again use my printf function. Size is percentage d, and then here what we'll write is size of name of my variable s1. Okay, so once we are done, let me use return 0 function. Now before I run this particular program, let us guess what will be the size of this particular variable s1. So what our variable is storing? Our variable is storing name of a particular candidate or student. So here basically you can see the name that we are considering. Here we have considered 20 character. So one character is a 1 byte. So overall my name will be 20 byte. That is, I am allocating 20 byte for this name. Then we are storing a floating value, and the memory of a floating number is always 4 byte. Then again we are storing an integer. Again the memory of integer is 4 byte. So overall this will be your 20 plus 4 plus 4. That is your 28. So the size of this particular variable s1, which is of data type student, is 28. Now let us run this particular program and check out whether we are getting the same answer or not. So let me consider the name MD, let roll number be 100. Okay, this is 1000, no issues. Percentage, let it be 55. Now once you press enter, you can see size is 28. So guys, this is the way how you can calculate size of any particular variable of the data type that you have created using structure. Now let us move back towards our slide and check out how our value will be stored in memory. So here you can see I have created this particular variable s1 again, which is of data type student, and here I am storing roll number, percentage, and name Rahul. So here first of all what I am doing, I am storing roll number, which is of integer, which is an integer. So here first of all my integer will be stored. You can see my memory, this is a memory block. So first of all what I am doing, I am storing 101, and this is the address of this particular memory location. So here I have considered 64,02,780. This is just an arbitrary number. In your case this will be different. Then as this particular integer will be of 4 byte, my next memory location will be 64,02,784, and in this memory location we'll store our floating value 78.8. Then again our floating value is of 4 byte, so my next memory location will be 64,02,700, this should be your 88. Kindly correct this one, this will be your 88, and here in this memory location we are storing our character Rahul, and this will be of 5 byte. So guys, this is the way how our memory is being used while considering our structure. So guys, with this I'll be winding this video here. Hope your structure is clear. In our next video we'll be working with our structure and array together, and we'll look out the advantage of using them. So as of now, goodbye and take care.